Alright, what's up guys? 1/22/2012, Sunday. Yeah, you're reading the title correctly. The Illuminati have folded. There are negotiations underway with top-ranking Illuminati members and representatives from the international community, and they are discussing how to unwind the faulty financial system of the United States and Europe, including derivatives, commodities, manipulated stock prices, and to allow the system to go back into equilibrium. The people that are meeting, the representatives from the Illuminati, are not the top-ranking members. That division is a group called Magic 12. They are sorcerers, and they are in direct communication with Lucifer. They are humans, and they walk this planet. The people from the Illuminati that are at the meetings are the people right below that level. These are representatives from secret banking. These are representatives from Black Ops, Area 51, not the people that work there, but the people that run institutions like this. The people that are in charge and control of anti-gravity, plasma technologies, super technologies. So these are the people that are at the meetings with the representatives from the international community. And the international community is basically everyone in the globe except Europe and the United States. That's what it is. And yeah, they have to sit down for two reasons. Because in November 2011, Europe completely collapsed. Europe completely financially melted down. And the only thing to save it was a last-minute infusion of dollars from the Federal Reserve to allow it to limp and survive for another short period of time. But everybody knows it's over. Everybody knows that financially Europe is done. It was 1,000 times bigger than the collapse of Lehman. And in addition to that, there was a confiscation of a United States drone in Iranian airspace by Chinese and Russian technology. They commandeered the drone. It was a Black Ops drone. It was super advanced technology, and the Pentagon and all of the military agencies absolutely had a coronary when this happened. I outlined this in my last video. Don't believe the hype. It's all a massive psyop. Part 3. Go back into my channel, look at it if you're unfamiliar with it. But those two instances completely overwhelmed and overloaded the Illuminati. There is no way that they can technologically, militarily, or financially handle that type of barrage. And that is what has brought them to the negotiation table now. And I want to backtrack a little bit here, because on June 8th of 2011, in a video called Bilderberg Who, I said that between now, which was June, and the end of 2011, you're going to see visible fireworks, and I said in particularly in November. Okay? Well, November was when Europe financially imploded and collapsed. Again, there was a video that I released on October 21st, 2011, right before November. I said, look, Europe is done. America will soon thereafter follow, and get ready. Well, in addition to that prediction, in that video, I also said that February was going to be a very important month. February is going to be a different kind of revelation than November was, but it's going to be very important. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more here. Because if you go back and look at what happened in Europe during the month of November, it's astounding. Again, Europe completely collapsed, it completely imploded. And let me get to the facts, now I can back up what I'm saying. On 10/27, Greece did default. I don't care what anybody says, the country defaulted. On Halloween 10/31, MF Global collapsed. Jim Willey even said that the collapse of MF Global was caused by a collapse of the COMEX. That is what triggered that collapse. On 11/3, Papandreou quits, Greek Prime Minister. On 11/7, the ECB deposits hit a record level that has been unseen since the Lehman collapse. On that same day, there were a number of murders that happened in Italy that were associated with the Vatican. And on that same day, Berlusconi resigned. On 11/9, the Italian bond, 10-year bond auction hit a record 7.5%. On 11/14, the Spanish 10-year bond hit 6%. On 11/14, there was an actual Italian bond auction failure. And on 11/15, the Italian MIB stock market shoots up 450 points in literally 15 minutes. It went from about 15,150 to about 15,600 in 15 minutes. That is a sign that someone is desperate. That is a sign that the system is imploding because they're manipulating it to try and keep it going. That's exactly what that means. On 11/16, Italy's largest bank took a loss of 11 billion euros. The shares of that company were suspended from trading. When the shares were resumed trading, the shares immediately fell 9%. On 11/17, Spanish bond yields hit a record 14-year high. And on that same day, there was a huge transfer of COMEX metal from the eligible to the registered category. That same day, French bonds skyrocketed. Again on that day, Gerald Celente gets burned, $800,000 with the MF Global collapse. On that same day, Ann Barnhart closes her brokerage firm in Colorado because of a deficiency in the reliability in her mind of the whole global financial system. She doesn't trust them. She knows that they are nefarious, and she just shut her whole brokerage firm down. On 11/21, the Italian stock market, MIB, closes down 725 points. The very next day, MIB closes down 224 points. The next day on 11/23, the Italian stock market, MIB, closes down 370 points. That is a collapse. That is an absolute collapse of the market. On that same day, also, there was a German bond auction failure. So Europe is just imploding. I mean, it's firing on every single cylinder for the implosion to go forward. On 11/29, American Airlines, this isn't Europe, but it is sort of derived from Europe. American Airlines, fourth largest airline in the world, files for bankruptcy. On the same day, Italian bonds hit a record 8%. The same day, S&P downgrades 37 banks. Europe imploded in November. It absolutely imploded. The only thing to save it was a direct, emergency, immediate infusion of fictitious fake dollars from the Federal Reserve, and that's the only thing that kept it limping and kept it alive. That is it. Everybody knows in reality that financial system is absolutely done. It collapsed, and it was 1,000 times larger than Lehman ever could hope to be. Also, on 11/30, okay, the Chinese make a public announcement, and they say to the United States, if you mess with Iran, we are going to construe and interpret that as a direct assault upon us. See, the Chinese are smart. They waited until the big financial implosion happened. Then they come in and say, hey, don't mess with Iran. We know you're weakened. We can make this statement safely. What happened 5 days later? The U.S. drone got confiscated in Iranian airspace by Chinese and Russian technology. It was a 1-2 punch. Financial destruction in Europe. Chinese unveil secret, hidden, super advanced technology that commandeered, confiscated that drone in Iranian airspace, landed it in Iranian soil. The Illuminati cannot compete with the financial degradation of Europe and the United States and the super technology that was unveiled by the Chinese and the Russians. I outlined the technology that confiscated the drone in my last video. Don't believe the hype. It's a massive psyop, part 3. If you haven't seen that, go back on my channel and take a look at it. I spell it all out. So these two huge instances and series of events have forced the Illuminati high-ranking members to sit down and negotiate how they are going to unwind the fraudulent derivatives, the fraudulent manipulation of markets, commodities, and other equities, bonds, etc. all over the world. The last week you saw a huge increase in COMEX silver and gold price that is directly related to the meetings and negotiations that are going on now. It is directly correlated. And what these meetings are going to do, and now that we're getting into February, like I said, February is going to be a very big month for different reasons than the economic failure of Europe. And what February is going to do is we're going to start to get into this recalibration, this re-equalization, this equilibrium of the financial systems of the world. Everything's going to have to go back to what it should have been without the manipulation and the derivatives and the CDOs and the fictitious financial instruments that have been distributed globally. Which means what's going to happen? Silver, gold will go back to equilibrium where they should be. They're going higher. Oil will have to go back to equilibrium, which is lower. The only thing that's been keeping that oil price below that $100 level for the last since May, okay, has been the Chinese, the Russians, the South Americans, and the people that are part of this international consortium. Those are the people that have kept the price under $100. Well, now that the Illuminati manipulation has to be taken completely out of the equation, you're going to see lower oil prices, much lower. I've said in videos that, look, oil should be trading or selling at the pumps in the United States for 75 cents a gallon. Literally, that's what it should be. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go to 75 cents right away, but you're going to see in the next little bit here lower oil prices. It has to go to equilibrium. There's so much oil in the world. There are oceans of oil out there, oceans of crude. There's so much, it would make your head spin if you knew how much was really out there. That will happen. Currencies are going to have to go back to equilibrium. The dollar is going to have to take a hit. It's really going to have to take a hit because it's been manipulated, it's been pushed and fraudulently derived and put into levels that it should not be in. So, yeah, the whole system has to go back to equilibrium and it has to go back to reality. Markets have to be placed in an environment of reality. Now, just to back this up a little bit more, there was a video that I did on 2012 and my interpretation of 2012 about 6 months ago. And basically, to sum up that video, I said 2012 is going to be the implementation of the end of the lie, the end of the illusion, the end of the deception. And that's what you're going to start to see in February. The end of the lie, the end of the illusion. So all of these manipulations, all of these faulty financial instruments, any lie that the status quo has put upon the masses will begin to demonstrably fade away. And that is what is going on right now. I mean, I'm elated. I literally, on a spiritual level, if I can just bare my soul here a little bit, not on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, on a vibrational level, I'm just like, oh, I can finally breathe. I can breathe. I can breathe because this weight is being removed. All right? So just to use a little analogy, so you guys might understand it from a different type of description, that's what I want to say. So, yeah, I'm all smiles. I'm all smiles. It's 2012, guys. It's 2012. All the bullshit's ending. It's great. Absolutely great. So, yeah, that's where we are today. And as usual, thanks for listening.